format today, a horizontal one, because I'm recording on my computer. My phone was giving me all kinds of problems for recording really over the last week to 10 days, and it's really screwing up things, so I thought I'm just going to go to this format and upload the video when I'm done. So I want to thank you for being here. You can come over to my website if you want to get a personal reading. That's over at scottallenroberts.com, and you can find the link to that in the description for this video. So today, I want to preface this with something. When we get negative readings or what feels like, oh, that wasn't a very happy reading, keep in mind that the tarot isn't always something that gives you happiness and joy and a frolicking every day. It's going to give you a message. If it's truly a message that's coming to you from the universe or from God or from your angels or however you look at that, you're going to get all different kinds of messages. Today is one of those. All three cards came up in the reverse, which I don't normally, as you know, read reverses as a strict thing because all cards have an inherent positive and negative. But when all three come up and the message is like it is today, there's a reason to look at it and say, there's something to this reversal today. So this message today is really all about how you deal with your relationship and your finances. And you know, when you do tarot readings or you look at life and telling stories about life, it's always about relationship. It's always about money. It's always about job. It's always about projects that we're working on, all those things. There's like 3, 4, 5 different things in life. And that's pretty much it. Today is no different. The card reading starts off with the 5 of Wands. And you've seen this card before. This is the card where you see the guy standing there. That represents you. And in the background is all this fighting going on, this bickering. And by the way, ignore my dirty fingernails. I've been tattooing, and so I've got ink all over my hands that's not coming off and embedded in my fingernails because it was practice tattooing, so I didn't wear any gloves. So I only say that because I see it in the window myself. So this is what's going on. It's these, and we've called this mock battles, meaning there's been stuff going on. There's this great youthful vigor, energy of making life happen and accomplishing what you want to, but there's a little conflict here, and the 5s in the deck represent conflict that come our way. And this is conflict of a sort that is going on around you, but that you're not necessarily involved in. So this is, you see him standing away from the fray? The idea with this is that you don't get involved. Don't insert your hand into it. Just let it play out. You're going to have conflicts. And you're going to have people talking about you or talking behind your back or gossiping or whatever. This is going on in this card. And so today it's in the reverse, which means that there is conflict that's going on, and it's been so much so of a nature that you've been avoiding conflict enough and trying to keep peace enough in your relationship that while there's resolution to be found, you might be bottling things up. This is the warning here. It says don't avoid things or don't bottle up your resentment so much that you're not communicating, whether it be finance or anything else. So this is a card that says right now, you are bottling up your resentments. You're not talking about it. And you know what? You can be madly in love with somebody. You can love them deeply and richly and have been together for years. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that you don't have daily conflicts. This is a card that says in your temporal today, you're going to have some conflicts over maybe some things that you've kept private or you've bottled it up. You haven't worked it through. And so the resolution is tougher to find. You might have competition or conflict at work. You might be finding some peace after a little bit of financial stress, but there is still escalation and conflict over money. This is going on. And this is really focusing on the way you are in your relationship and the because the wands, what did I say the wands were? The wands is that suit of your emotions. It's the things that make you get up and look at the mirror and say, God damn, I'm happy to be alive. What an exciting day to be alive and to live. But you've got things that you're letting get in the way. And it's kind of hampering that vivacious excitement of creative energy. Because you've got to worry about the sword hanging over your head. That sword of Damocles, if you've ever read those myths. The sword hung over your head by a hair. You're waiting for the wrong movement or the next shoe to drop. So this is where you're sitting in your current. And it's not all that bad. It's a warning to say, look at the things that have brought you here. This is where you are right now, but your near future is right there, so you can start working your way away from that by doing the things that this card is warning about. Because in the recent past, you've got the Four of Wands. You've gone from the 4 to the 5. 4s indicate stability, security, happiness. 5s indicate conflict. So in the recent past, the energy you've had that's built you up to where you are now, you've got the Four of Wands, and you see there's a woman standing there, and in the background is dancing and celebrating, as opposed to the 5, which in the background had the fighting and the bickering. This is happiness and celebration. Now, the problem is that this too is in the reverse, and this is the card of your recent past. This is the card that's brought you to where you are and plopped you off in this energy today. And it's in the reverse. And what does this card mean in the reverse? It means that you might have conflict with your family or family members or a loved one. You might have a fear of committing to something. You might have workplace conflicts that are going on and there's nothing to celebrate there. And it also means the opposite of the dancing and celebrating. It's saying that you have unstable finances. And the support from your family and loved ones can be a little burdensome right now. Or even supporting them if you've got a family. It's burdensome. It's hard to keep your head above the water, is what this is saying. And it's not surprising, knowing the economy that we're in right now. I'm not going to get political with this, but this is where our economy is. You know, most Americans right now, the jobs are good, but you know what's not good? Spending. Everything's too expensive. So while jobs may have risen a bit, money has not. Expenditures have not. And it's costing us more. It's putting strain. So what have you got so far? A foundation of strain. Finances. It's putting a strain on your relationship. What do they say? The cliche almost now. One of the biggest factors in couples separating or divorcing, breaking up, is finance. So finance is affecting your relationship, the way you deal with it, the way you communicate things. And in the present, it's saying that you might be bottling this up and not communicating. Communicate with your partner is the message of this. Communicate with your partner. And all of this, by the way, is leading to this potential near future. And I say potential because it hasn't happened yet, but you're stepping into it right now. Now that you see this in your current, you're stepping into this. And it is the Six of Cups. The Six of Coins. And remember, the Six of Coins shows a woman sitting there, and she's telling everybody, she's a woman of means. And she's saying, put out your hand to me. Give me your hand, and I'll put a coin into it. She's in a position in life where she can give. And yet now in this position, you're finding yourself in a position where you might have to be the person who is putting your hand out to say, please help me out. But the problem with this right now, in the reverse, in your near future, is that it's leaving you with a lack of help. There's a lack of somebody to turn to. And if you're getting anything at all, any help or gifts from somebody, there's going to be strings attached to those. And it's going to build more resentment and create more problems than you have. And what does it mean? In this card mean in the future, in your love and in your relationship, in your romance, if it were, your partnership? Unfair power dynamics are building. You're taking advantage of love. You're saying, I love this person, so they'll understand when we get out of this in the end, they'll understand I had to keep some things and I'm bottling up and so on. You know what? Bottled up emotions have never, ever, ever, one time ever, been good for a relationship. Guys especially, I'm talking to you. Why? Because we bottle up our emotions more than our women do. And women, more than your men do, you are open. That's a generality, but it's a true generality. So everybody, though, do not bottle up, do not hide. Communicate if you want that relationship to be better. It can also, this whole thing can stand for hidden agendas, that there's quid pro quos coming up for you. You might have to suck up to your boss to get what you need in a career. So there's lack of help. There's lack of doing your own thing. You're feeling used. You're feeling like you have to give up some of who you are to get what you need. And in your relationship especially, you've got to open up or there's going to be unfair dynamics. So what's the overall message of this particular reading? The overall message of this is don't allow the things that are going on in the outside of you, the economy, things like that, to keep you from communicating well, to keep you from making your relationship work, to keep you from doing the right thing at work. And you know, if you take this as a warning, that card of the future, you could turn that around. It just takes paying attention to what's going on. I'm going to leave you with that for today. Thanks for listening.